Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I've posted anything. The weather's been a bit shocking. Not been bothered doing anything in the garage and doing a few jobs around the house, bit of decorating. So this morning, Christmas Eve 2024, I'm going to have a ride down to Shrigley Engineering to see Andy Jones, the Imp guru for engines. I recently, well, a couple of years ago, bought a set of twin 40s for my Imp Sport, which is just there. And I've bought a manifold off him from a Will Parry manifold, inlet and exhaust combined. I've had it 12 months and got the carburetors there now, all set up. I just need to get a new gasket. Andy does a combined inlet and manifold gasket, so it's just easier than putting two separate ones on the engine. I just want to check the jets over, make sure I've got the right ones to get me running on the 1020 with the standard sports head. So weather's not so good, but I thought, you know what, we'll give the car a run out. It's not been used for a week or two, so we're going to get in it. It's a bit damp because it's cold outside and warm in the garage, so I've wiped the dust off it from where I've been doing my bit of woodwork in the house, and just thought we'll give it a run out. So the Fiesta's just out on the drive down there. I've had to move that out and whatnot, and then the Chamois Sports undercover here. Need to do a bit of recommissioning on that. It's been stood since August, and then I think that possibly be coming up for sale next year. I don't like selling cars, but I just don't use it, and it's a bit of a shame to just leave it covered up, undercover there, looking all gleaming. It's a real shame, but I can't keep everything, so I've got to make a decision to shred one, and I can't get rid of the red one. I've had that 20 years and I love the Fiesta, a bit more modern, so I'm afraid the green one's got the short straw here, and that'll be coming up for sale early season next year. So if anyone's interested, pop us a line, we can have a chat. I've got a few little jobs to do on it. Check it over. I'll have to put an MOT on it. Even though it doesn't need it, I would sell it with a full MOT so people know that it's at least roadworthy, which it will because it's been restored 7 years ago now. But anyway, we're going to go down to see Andy, and we'll hopefully get a bit of video on him and his workshop, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so we're off on our way to Andy Jones's Red Sport. It's a bit damp on the ground, but won't do it any harm, won't fall apart. Been that much rain, there'll be no salt around, it's been washed away. So we'll give it a bit of a run out. Not been out in it for a while, so it'll be a nice treat. Still a bit damp the car from coming out of the warm garage. That'll soon dry off as we get down there, so we'll just have a bit of a spin up to Trafford Park. It'll take about 30-40 minutes, and hopefully he's got the gasket. Well, I think he has, he said he had. But he might have sold them all, we'll see. And video a bit further up when we're on the en route. Okay, so we just landed at Shrigley Engineering, Andy Jones's place here. Little unit where he's got all his trinkements and where all his activities are going. So we'll bang on the door, see if he's in. Hopefully he is. Lights are on, and we'll see what we can get out of him. Right, now we're in Andy's little workshop. Den of iniquity. Here he is, the man himself. The interviewer turned to be now to be interviewed. How's it going, Andy?
Mate, I'm loving that camera. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so this is where all the action happens with all his machinery. You'll have seen on his video, there's his booth for doing his dyno booth.
Hey, there's your mate Mark's engine.
And here's Mr. System's engine.
It's just had a little skim.
There, all being done, ready for being built up.
Yeah, we've got to bore it yet.
Yeah, so Andy's busy, so I'm not going to mither him. I'm just going to leave him now. This is his 1200 engine he's doing at the moment. You'll see on his YouTube channel, Shrigley Tube, which everybody needs to watch.
We promised for tonight at 7, haven't we?
So,
things like,
well, you're a bit of a mug, aren't you, really, because you just promise stuff, and I just don't know how you do it.
It gives me a deadline, gives me a bit of discipline, you know. I
just really don't know how you do it, because it's just like, shum, shum, and next thing it's together and it's running. It's amazing. So you do a great job.
Oh,
and it's good to watch.
Kind. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy your channel when I sit down and watch it.
Yeah, so there's loads of stuff in here, but it's proper old school engineering, old machinery. It's the best stuff. It's not the mess. It's proper old school.
You know what, Gary? When I get a new place, come and see me at a new place.
Yeah, we'll come down with the cars and
tidy, stainless steel workbenches. I'm gonna get some new kit, not a high vis jacket.
Proper overalls.
Yeah, proper overalls. I'm going to get my hair cut once a week.
We need to get the Imp Club down and have a celebration reopen day with a few of the local Imp Clubbers.
I've had at the end of the year, you have a big think about what you want to achieve. I'm going to invest, because I love the dyno and everything. Yeah. But what I want is a proper rolling road.
Right.
And in a new place.
Oh, we can have a rolling road session.
I'm going to get the big loan, and I'm going to get proper... with all the computer, you know.
How much then? About 50 grand?
Yeah, probably that, but the business will pay for it.
Yeah,
I'm going to get one of those, and then we can actually see what's going on.
You have to get some people to invest.
Well, you're pretty
no,
minted, Gary.
I'm not minted, no. No, I'm not minted.
You've got a Mercedes-Benz.
Yes, I know, but it's an old one. If it was minted, I'd have a new one.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, we'll move on from that. But yeah,
it's 15 million tomorrow, Christmas Day, the lottery.
Well, I'll be winning that, so if I win it, I'll invest in a rolling road for you.
Shove us a mill.
Yeah.
And we'll get...
I'll be a partnership with you.
You can set your webbers up for free on it. How's that?
Fantastic. Can't wait.
I'll provide the jets and the fuel as well.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Anyway, we'll leave Andy to it because he's a busy man.
Yeah, I'm going to crack on.
Get
this on for tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll watch his video. Like I say, Shrigley Tube. It's one to watch.
Brilliant.
Right,
Thanks,
see
Gary.
you later.
See you soon. Ta.
Okay, so we just left Andy's now. He's given me a little bit of advice on what carburetor jets I need. I've got them fortunately in my box I got with the carbs, so I'll go back home now and we'll do a bit of video changing them over. He's given me a bit of advice about Loctiting a couple of studs in and putting some lock nuts on to stop the vibrations and one of the carbs. So we'll see how we get on, and then it's a job to put on in the new year when I've got a bit more time. Gonna get the Fiesta MOT first, but yeah, it was good insight into his little workshop, and he's just mega busy. I really don't know how he does what he does. He is amazing. If you watch his videos, you'll see 1 minute he's in bits, the next day he's on the dyno running, so he puts a lot of hard work and effort into it, and very, very precise with what he does as well. Even though the place could do with a good clearing out, I don't think I could do it, but live in a place which is so cluttered, but everybody's different, but the workmanship he sends out is top class. So anyway, we'll head off home now, and we'll upload a video later. I'll do a bit of a one, changing the jets and just putting a bit of Avaldite on the studs he recommended. Speak soon. Ta-ra. Okay, so we're now back from Andy Jones's, and I've got my gasket I needed, which goes on to the manifold here, which is just out of view, but it fits like a glove, port matched and everything, so happy days with that. That's a job. And he also told me I need to change my jets in the carb here. So I've got my jet pack, what I got with the carburetors, and I've segregated them so I know which ones I need. And for these ones in here, so the 125s are some of the jets, which are these ones, I think, 125, yeah, which are these little jets here, you can just see. And they go in the end, they take this cap off, apparently on here. Now this is wrong, the stud shouldn't come out, Andy said. That stud in that should stay, I can't get it off, should actually stay in the carburetor, so I need to Loctite this thread. So I've got my Loctite here, whatever it's called, 577 Loctite. I've had it for years, it's brilliant, got it through work. So I need to get that stud off that and put that in that, and I also need to change these in here, these jets. So apparently I can screw this out like so, and the big long jet. So I need to change that jet on the end there, and also these pull apart, which I didn't realise until he showed me. And I also need to change that jet in there. I think it's an airflow jet or something. It should just pull out per pliers. Should just pull out like so. So that one, if you can see, is a 160. Put that to one side. He told me I need a 200 in. So I've got a 200 there. You can just about, I think you can make it out, but it's got some numbers written on that. So that just pushes in like so, and then that pushes in over the top like so, and I just need to get a little, hopefully my pliers will get that, unscrew that out of there, which is the 130, and put a smaller jet in. I need to do that on all four because there's two on each carburettor, so there's one here, one there, and then on the top. Just I'll unscrew. Oh, it just doesn't unscrew, it pulls out. Right, so I put that to one side and pop that one in, which is my 125, and screw that back in and nip it up, and that's one jet changed. And then I'll do the same procedure with the other one. I've left loose, so I just need to pull that 130 out, like so. Pop the new one in, the 125, like so. Pull it apart. Ooh, it's a bit stiff that one. I like to put it in my vise. That's it. Pull that one out, like so. Put to one side so I don't get them mixed up. New one in. Push them back together in the vise, and then screw that one back down. Nice and tight. That's carburettor number 1 done. And then do the same with the top. Unscrew the cap off the top one. Again, I think the stud comes out with this. I didn't know any difference. Only when people show you what to do, you understand. So that comes, yeah, so I need to get the stud off on that. And then undo these two again. He also recommended I change the bolts to lock nuts as well, so they don't vibrate loose. So I need to do that. That jet in there, 125, pull that apart. Again, put it in the vise just to grip it. Oh, that's it. Pull that other 130 out. What that one is? 160. Sorry. The 160 out. Put the 200 in. Put that back together. That's that one done. Very simple. He said this will get me up and running, and then once we've got it running, we'll take it down to him, and he'll set it up properly with if we've got any problems. So then we'll pull that 135 out. Put the 130 out. Put the 125 in. That's in. Pull that apart. Over it comes apart. Oh, get in the vise again. Pull that 160 out. Rather a bit weaker than too rich. It's not a race engine, so we don't need to have it too rich. Too weak. What about too weak? Right, put that one in. Which is a 160. Push that back together. That's a snugger fit. And screw it back in. So there's the 4 jets changed. What we need to do now, nip them up, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Done. So we need to get these wing nuts off. So I'll plant the shank in the vise and see if I can. Oh, that's coming undone, believe it or not. Oh, it's stiff. That's probably why it never came undone. Right, so that's it. Right, so we've got that off now. That's that. So there's a stud. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of Loctite on this thread, just a bit, and that will just, and get it off, get the lid off. Oh, can't get the lid off. I have to put that in my vise and probably give it a crack, break the seal. That's it. Right, so all I'll do is just the longer thread, just dab a little bit on the end, like so. Only needs a midges. Screw that in, and screw it in by hand as much as I can get it, and just nip it with the pliers. Screw it in. I don't know how far it needs to go in. I'm hoping it's going to come to a stop. That's what I don't want to do. That's going a bit loose. Let's put this in. Excuse me. And then not be able to get the cap on after, because it's gone off. So that's what we'll do. Make sure I've got that goes that way. That sits in there with the seal around it, and then cap on the top, and screw that down. Fingers crossed. That cap is tight down there. I'll just nip it with the pliers, so we know that stud's in long enough. Fingers crossed that'll just, yep, that stud stayed in now, so I'm happy with that. So we know that stud's in low enough, and let that cure off. So I'll put that back on now, then I don't lose anything. A bit fidgety with the accelerator linkage in the way, but it's not the end of the world. And that's one done. We'll do the same with the other one. We'll take that. That should come off. Oh, it's not. Now this one's been put in the wrong way by somebody, so there's a lesson learnt. Oh god, that's tight as well. So let's get the pliers. That's probably why it won't come apart. It's been bodged in the past. That's going to be, that might have to stay as it is, I'm afraid, that one, because I'm not going to risk breaking it. So we'll put that one back in there on that and screw it in to the carburetor. You can find the thing, and maybe I need to look at speaking to him on that in the future. It's a bit tight. Put a bit of oil on it, maybe I'll help it. That's the back one as well, so it'll be awkward once in the car to get out. But anyway, we've done that there, so we'll put the lid back on there. So there is the jets all changed, and what I'll do, I'll put all them other ones back in a little box. So there's nothing wrong with them, they're just not suited for my vehicle. So put them in there, then we've got them. Happy days. All nice and safe. This chap whoever bought them off, like little pill boxes, but they're being used as a carburetor jet. So lots of bits there in a little packet. So what I need to do now is just change these studs or bolts. He's recommended I put nylox on, so I've got some nylox in my tin, so I'll just go and get them. Okay, so for all them that don't know the difference between a nut and a nylock has a little bit of plastic in the end, moulded in, unthreaded. So as you thread the nut onto the bolt, it gets the plastic and it becomes tight, and it then locks onto the thread. So you need a spanner rather than, I could slacken these off and screw them out by hand. So that's what a nylock is, and it locks, and you can get all different types. You can get some with squashed ends, which are a different type of nylock, and you can get the nylock ones, which are plastic, which are the cheaper version. So what I just need to do is nick this nut off on here. At the bottom they've got bolts in, so you see there that just comes undone very easy. That's just a plain nut, there's no nylock on it or nothing. These are nylock nuts. You screw on the same till they hit the plastic, and then you can't turn them. You have to get your spanner on them, and then you just nip them up with the spanner, and it basically locks the nut onto the bolt. So any vibration prevents it coming apart. And just keep the nut nice and tight. It'll take seconds to swap. No different than what we do normally. And the final bit I need to do is weld on a couple of spigots for the vacuum, because my vehicle has a servo and these don't have a facility on these carburetors, on this manifold, for a servo connection. So I've welded, I tell a lie, I've attempted to screw on some hose tails, but it's not been very successful because one's fell off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld on a couple of bits of pipe, which I'll show you in a minute, and then I'm all ready to strip the old carbs off and put these on and see if we can get a tune, as Andy said, out of it, which will be very interesting because I've never dealt with twin 40s in my life. I've seen them on people's cars, but I would never spend £1,000 on them. But I found these at an auto jumble or a car show at Leighton Hall a couple of years ago. Reconditioned them all, and they were a bargain price, so I thought I can't leave them. Andy did inform me the Hunter carburetors, so it must be off the Holby Hunter, so at least the root carbs, it's whether they'll do what you want, which I don't know what he means by that, but if not, I might be either passing them on to somebody with a Hunter or somebody else, or I'll buy a new set, because it cost me a hefty price for the combined inlet and exhaust manifold from a chap called from Andy Jones via a young gentleman called Will Parry, who does exhaust manifolds. He does a lot for the Hillman Imps, and I'm sure he does them for other vehicles, because there can't be that much demand for his manifolds. Once you've got one, they seem to last. But I'm sure he does other makes and models of vehicles based in Aberystwyth, North Wales. Very friendly with Andy Jones. Andy uses all his exhausts and his manifolds. So if you do need anything, whether it be for a Hillman Imp or maybe another car, maybe it's worth contacting Andy Jones at Shrigley Engineering. He might be able to put you in touch with Will Parry, or find out for you whether he can provide what's needed. So just check them. They're on a rubber seal, so you can't nip them too tight. That's why you need the nylox on, really. Just need a nip. So anyway, we're done there, and what we're going to look at now is just down here. This is my takeoff for my vacuum, and I attempted to do it at the top here, but as you can see, it broke. So I'm going to get my little finger grinder out, clean the paint off, probably undo that one. I found a bit of stainless steel tube the other day in my garage. I can put it to one side for a minute. I can't find it again. But basically, this is the tube I'm going to use, and I'm going to sit it on top. I'm going to run a weld around it, and that'll give me my vacuum off that carb and a vacuum off that carb. Andy said do them on every one, but I've manufactured this. I had a right job trying to weld that on, because that'll go on like that eventually, which will give me a vacuum takeoff to go to my servo. So that's another job for another day. I've had enough today now. I've been out in the car, it's filthy. I'm going to just put it away and clean it over the Christmas. Got my new linkage on, which is all there, ready to go. Once I've got my carb, my accelerator cable in on one of them, I'll have to take one off. I've not decided which one I'm going to use yet. And that's all machined, and then there's the new gasket for it, which goes on. Lovely full inlet and exhaust manifold gasket, so it's a great. I do owe him for it. I haven't paid him for it yet, so I get that sorted, and then jobs are good and happy days. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you on the next one with a bit of luck. Yeah, and I'll upload this later, and Well, I'll do a video of putting the carburetors off. I've got to take the manifold off and whatnot on the car. So there's a bit of work there. I did have the exhaust manifold off the other day when I did Mark Siston's exhaust modifications. And then just get the carbs off, bolt these on. I have to modify my exhaust to make it match the new manifold, which I just need to measure now. And then the jobs are good. But anyway, as I said before, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you all in the new year. And I'll try and do a video on New Year's Day of a show. Probably go to the Black Swan. It's part of the Phoenix group, just near the on the M6, just off the M6 near where Thelwall Viaduct is. So I'll probably go in the Imp because it's dirty. I'll give it a quick wash off New Year's Eve and get ready for New Year's Day. All the best now. Bye bye.